Welcome to Raising the Curve, a podcast designed to teach you everything that you need to know to be better with your money. Come and learn alongside me, Sophie Hallwright, a total beginner, from the finance expert, Victoria Harris.
So I've asked all of the questions you wish you could so that finance, investing and growing your wealth actually makes sense.
Yes, it's expert education, but that we promise will not be boring.
And in the wise words of Cher,
my mom said to me, you know, sweetheart, one day you should settle down and marry a rich man. And I said, Mom, I am a rich man.
Come and talk and learn and laugh with us, because together we really can raise the curve. So it's Halloween, and
really? Is it?
So in all honesty, Vic, I decided to take the liberty of choosing what we were dressing up as.
You did, after last year's banger of a costume.
In my defence, I put a lot more effort into my costume than you did.
It epitomised us. Me, I was like, right, I can order a sheet off Amazon, cut 2 holes, I'm done. So it's like painting her face, cutting out a triangle. Like
it was a pyramid scheme. That was genius.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I thought if I'm going all out, so are you. So I've chosen 2 outfits. One that impacted the economy this year really well, and one that did not.
That's quite good for you.
Thank you so much. Originally, I was actually going to rig this and put both of the shit one in this cup.
One's Taylor Swift.
Damn it!
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to think.
That was what I wanted to dress up as, and I thought, no, we're doing it fair.
What's the other? What other?
Nah,
what else
don't
is
guess. Don't guess. I'll be so gutted if you guess both before you've even picked one out. No, you're about to guess. I can just see it on your face.
Interest rates.
No, it's close. Just shush.
Sorry.
You're really ruining the game for me. Okay, you get to pick.
Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to think. Oh, fuck off.
Oh my God, yes!
Inflation!
Okay, stunning.
Inflation, it did impact the economy. Well done.
Yep.
Yes. And you're Taylor Swift. Nice.
Yeah, okay. Great.
I'm going to be inflation. How the...
You just wait. Now, just to set the scene for anyone that's not watching the video of this.
You need to watch.
You need... It's true, actually. This is not an audio-only episode. I'm actually crying because I can't stop laughing.
You might be able to hear this. That is my costume.
It's Halloween. We thought, do you know what? We need to go to extreme lengths here, Vic. There's lots of people that are not investing yet.
And they think it's scary.
They think it's scary and it's not for them. And we thought...
You look so good.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do I actually? I honestly
it's
hate...
It's the quiff for me.
Oh, wow. It's quite a lot bigger than I thought. Honestly, given the situation, I can't be complaining. She's in a giant green inflatable outfit. She's inflation.
I'm inflation. So inflation had a negative impact on the economy. And so I am a big... Giant inflation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the positive thing here is that you have deflated in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah. I didn't stay big for long, just like in real life.
It's actually quite genius, honestly.
Yeah.
It's very good.
And
visual
you are a very chic Taylor Swift.
Yeah. She sold millions of tickets.
Yeah.
The amount of money that this woman has pumped into the global economy is iconic.
But how is this finance and investing related, Sophie?
So this episode is for your friends who avoid talking about money, have no idea about investing. This is for your mums that know they should be investing and have no idea what to do. This is a subtle little, hey,
give this a listen.
It's not that scary.
It's not that scary. But 73% of women think they're not knowledgeable enough, and they're way more likely to just ignore it, not invest. It's too hard basket. We need to change that. It's not that scary.
It is actually a serious problem. The amount of women that are not investing is actually kind of terrifying.
It's very
concerning. That is the scariest part. Yeah. Actually, not investing itself.
And that women are going to end up with 40% less money to spend when they retire than men. That is scary.
We are ending up with half the amount of wealth. That is what you need to think about.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this next part is I want you to pretend that it's Sophie 5 years ago, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Because I feel way less scared of investing. In fact, I'm not actually scared of investing at all anymore.
Way less wrinkles, way less grey hair.
Rude.
Sorry.
However, one of the top things that scares people when it comes to investing, I'm going to quote these actually as if it's me 5 years ago. I'm worried I'm going to lose all my money if I start investing.
Yeah. There's so much data and statistics and research and history in the fact that there's ways you can invest where you don't lose money. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to make sure that you have all the skills and knowledge that you can put your best foot forward.
Love it. Okay, what about I just don't understand any of the language when it comes to investing. There's so many acronyms, it's just confusing.
You're not the only one.
Oh, I used to hate
Yeah.
the acronyms. In fact, I still do. They make me really annoyed.
Yeah. But honestly, we're going to show you that if you break it down, there's such easy ways of explaining things that make so much more sense, but it's not confusing.
It's not at all. And actually, we've put together a little glossary with like the top easy to understand words. So if you wanted, they're in the like in the podcast show notes, you can download them. I think this is a massive scare for a lot of people. I've been told to save for a rainy day. With inflation, the rising cost of living, I'm really scared about risking my savings.
The thing with inflation, me, is that if you don't invest, you will be able to afford less in the future, because inflation is like a little gremlin, like myself, eating away at your money, meaning that you can afford less. So you might have $100 in the bank and you can buy 5 things at the supermarket, and then fast forward a year, that $100 you might only be able to afford 4 things because the prices have all gone up, even though you've got the same amount. So in order to afford the 5 things in the future, you need to be investing and growing your money as well.
I have heard so many stories of people losing money. I'm really not sure who to trust.
You don't have to give your money away to someone. You can actually invest it yourself. And honestly, start with like $10, $20. Start small. And then if you lose that, it's not the end of the world. But I also think people that share those stories about losing money, for every one of them, there's 10 people that have made money as well.
It feels like to invest, I need to have a lot of money and I don't know where to start.
You don't need a lot of money. Most trading platforms, you can literally put in $1. So that excuse really riles me up, because I'm like, most people can find $1. And I know that doesn't sound exciting, but you don't need a lot of money. You just need a plan. You need discipline. You need to make it a habit, and you need to have a plan.
Can I just mention before we get to the main part of this episode, what an absolute commitment from us, spending our Friday night dressed up as Taylor Swift and inflation to teach beginners about investing. Like, this is commitment to the cause. I'm really sad inflation's gotten so skinny.
Hey, it's a good thing.
Yeah, true.
It's a really great thing. We want inflation to be about 2 to 3%.
Nice.
Not before, when I walked into the room and it was nearly 10.
Let's just explain what investing actually is.
So investing is putting money into anything that you think will increase in value over time. So property, for example, you invest in property, you buy a house in the hope that you'll sell it in the future for a higher price. You can invest in the common ones, stocks, bonds, property, all of that. But there's actually lots of other things like jewelry, handbags, art, cars, and even yourself. If you're investing in yourself. School, university, that's all investing in yourself. Any training, because then you can earn more and produce more of a profit later.
And what would you say, like, if there's someone listening that's like, okay, but why would I invest? I don't get it. I like my money in the bank. Why would I do it?
Yeah. I think it's security. I think having an additional income stream, it means you don't have to work as hard, because there's going to be a period of your life where you can't work when you're older. So you need to plan for that, like retirement. You're not going to be able to work until you die. So you need to plan for that period of time when you can't work. It means I have options. I have options to live my life how I want, in terms of, cool, I can go on a holiday with my friends, or cool, I've got money to buy a house. You know, it gives you flexibility and gives you choice.
You invest your money because you want to have more of it.
It gives you freedom. It gives you financial independence.
Yeah.
You're not like, even though people might be sitting there going, yeah, but I earn an income and that gives me financial independence. Like, no, it doesn't. You're still reliant on your job. So having your money growing while you sleep is giving you more and more freedom each day to not work or spend how you please.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have to work because they can live on their investments,
Yeah.
because their investments are not only growing in value over time like a house does. You know, say you're renting your house out and you're getting rent, you know, like
Yeah.
it's the same kind of thing. You can be getting dividends, which is, you know, essentially if you buy something in the stock market that then sort of pays little bits out to you every month or every quarter or once a year.
But this is really important for women as well, investing, because statistics show a majority of women are reliant on partners or
partner.
family or
Interesting.
friends. It's a really dangerous place to be in. You don't have the freedom of choice because it's not your money, or it's you haven't saved or invested, and therefore you can't get out of sticky situations.
I want to play a random game.
Ooh.
So this is something that we've talked about a lot, trying to figure out ways of demystifying really key concepts when it comes to
Yeah.
investing, because you'll hear words like diversification or
And you're like, what does that mean?
dollar cost averaging.
Even retirement, we recoined.
Yeah, we've now called that the 20-year holiday, because you're going to be technically on holiday, and we want you to feel excited about that.
A lot of people struggle to visualize retirement, but you can visualize a holiday and visualize what kind of holiday you want to have for 20 years. So it makes it easier to be like, right, I'm going to squirrel money away and invest it.
Come back
Yeah.
and be sitting on a giant golden egg.
Yeah.
So how do we explain the stock market, Vic?
So the stock market is like a farmer's market. So when you go to a farmer's market, you go there because there's lots of produce, lots of choice, lots of things you can buy. And that's exactly the same reason people go to a stock market. It's where companies and investors come. And for a farmer's market, it's where buyers and sellers come.
So if you were to imagine yourself at the market and you
Yeah.
were wandering around with your basket and you were picking up, I don't know, you thought this cheese looks delicious,
Yeah.
and you saw the guy behind the stall and he looks nice, and
He looks delicious.
you know, you've decided that you think that you trust him and his cheese. Oh, sorry, the analogy I was going for.
And then you go to the next stall and they've got some half-price gherkins.
And then you wander along, you're like, oh my God, I can get so many cucumbers.
Yeah. What we're getting at is it's exactly the same concept. Stock market just sounds confusing, but think of it like a farmer's market, because that's all it is.
Yeah, and so the idea is you want to obviously look at something before you buy it.
Yeah.
And it's just like when it comes to investing, you want to buy things that you think are going to be delicious or
Yeah.
successful, you know? And obviously the idea of it is that some of the things in a market might sell super well, and then you take them home and you try them and you're like, that was disgusting.
Yeah.
Ooh, that cheese is gross.
And if I think it's gross, lots of other people might think it's gross and not buy it. So you want to buy things, like I was saying before, that more people will demand in the future.
Yeah.
So
ideally, you want to be buying the most beautiful cheese
before
or-
anyone realizes it's beautiful cheese.
Yeah.
So the next concept or analogy is, have you kissed more than one person?
Yeah.
Same. Are we talking at the same time or once?
Do you know I have done a 4-week kiss before?
Have
when
you?
I was at primary school, we met at the bathrooms and we were all like, 3, 2, 1.
That explains things.
So diversification is one of those terms that is thrown around so much. You want to be diversified in the sense that you want to spread the risk
Spread the love.
and spread the love. So let's just say you're on a dating app and you're swiping, you match with someone, you're like, they seem really cute and cool, and you talk to them and you think it's all great, and you honestly, you go from 0 to 1,000.
I've never done that. What are you talking about?
But it's just like on a dating app, that person could not turn out to be who you're hoping that they are.
And you've put all your eggs in their basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're making this so sexual.
It was not intended.
But
Yeah.
it's the idea that,
Yeah.
you could be dating someone that has a secret family on the other side of the world you
Yeah.
don't know about. So sometimes until you're really sure, maybe you want to keep your options open. It's
Yeah.
just like investing.
Yeah. Date around, invest in lots of different things because one could be a dud or
Yeah.
two could be a dud. But you want to spread it around because you want to pick the winner. You want to pick the one that's going to do really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever skydived or bungee jumped?
Both.
Have you
And
actually? No, you haven't.
I have.
Have you done both?
Yeah, I hated bungee jumping. Loved skydiving.
What did you love about skydiving? I would have thought that was way scarier because
Nah, because you're so far away from the world. Like, it's tiny.
But you're falling through
Whereas
the air.
a bungee jump, your legs are strapped. You've got to dive into like
Was it scary?
rocks. It's like head first. So we talk about this when we talk about risk, because Just like Soph and I, we have very different tolerances to risk, and that is fine. Everyone has different levels of risk, and it's also knowing when to take different levels of risk. When you're younger and you've got longer term goals, you can take a lot more risk in terms of your investing if you're investing for your 20-year holiday. Whereas if you're maybe a bit older, you don't want to take as much risk because you want to protect your money. You don't want to take that risk. So risk can be super, super helpful in growing your money, but also it's a bit of a weird concept because risk is like, ugh, but also it can be fun and exciting.
You can think about the idea of risk in so many different ways. Vic, having done a bungee and a skydive, I am so scared of doing that. Yet when it comes to different parts of my life, I'm totally comfortable being more risky, whereas you're not in some ways. I think the point is, when we first started talking about risk in the very beginning, when we first started this podcast, I didn't totally understand the concept. Really, all that it means is that some companies are steady and like pretty sure bet that they're going to be fine. You know, obviously there's always a level of risk, you know, but how likely is it that you're never ever going to need loo paper again or never ever going to buy groceries? You know, those things are those pretty companies, solid, right?
Yeah.
The most risky, in inverted commas, companies are things like tech companies.
Which have done the most
amazing.
well.
And you think about the world we live in and you look around and technology is taking over everywhere.
Risk can help boost your returns as well, because with high risks usually comes high returns. It's what level of risk you're willing to take. If it's going to stress you out and you're going to be worried about it and fretting over it and wanting to constantly check your investments and it's going to consume you, then don't invest in it.
But I also just think in general, if that's how you're approaching investing, just you shouldn't be investing yet. You're not ready. Because I think if you understand investing and you're investing in the right way and you use the tools and the education that we're talking about and that you can find anywhere in our platform, that you can invest in a way that you are being really sensible. If you get to a point where you're ready to invest and you start doing it in ways that make sense to you, I don't think you'll be in a position where you're checking your investments, being up all night, sweating, having, you know, whatever, because you will have made clever decisions that you know. Yeah, there might be like a little bit of risk in the sense that tech companies, you know, they could go up and down, but it's just, it's not as scary or black and white or intense as the word risk sounds, I think.
And there's so many things to invest in. Not only is there different assets like we spoke about before, there's different companies within the stock market. There's just like so many options. It's, you're going to find something that you love. Imagine.
Okay, look, we just must apologise for anyone that is trying to watch this. Our camera's just died.
Yes, it overheated.
Okay, let's talk about why it is so important for people to start young. Maybe actually that's a bad use of the word, because you can be any age to start investing, but as soon as possible.
Yes.
As soon as you start to feel comfortable with the idea of what investing is and you know where you want to put your money, why is doing it as soon as you can a really good thing?
Because every day that you don't invest is a day lost in terms of generating a return. So the sooner you do it, the less you have to put away. So we're going to put a graph on the screen now, and you can see that if you'd invested for 15 years, you'd have about $200,000. The blue is what you've put in and what you've actually put away into your investments. The green is compound interest. That's your money growing. That's not money you've put in. You've put in the blue amount, and the green amount is the investing, doing the heavy lifting. That's what it means. The earlier you can start, you can see there in the later years just how little you have to put in, but how much the investing and what we call compound interest has done. That graph to me, I'm like, gosh, I want to start ASAP. Yesterday, please. Yes, would be fantastic.
One of the things that really like hit home for me when we were first learning about investing is the idea that you can't save your way to being a millionaire. Maybe in some capacity if you're earning an absolute bucket load of money or you have a giant inheritance or something. But the reality is if you're wanting to get there in terms of large wealth, you need to invest your money.
Yeah. Like if you had money in the bank and it was earning, say, 3 to 4% return per year, you'd be looking at about $35,000, pounds, whatever country you're in the next 30 years. Whereas if you invested it, the same amount, but you'd invested it, and remember the stock market has delivered about 10% return per year. So 3 to 4% versus 10%. You're looking at $200,000 in 30 years. So that's 35,000 versus 200,000. Like that is massive. It's such a difference just by taking a little bit more initiative and investing in the stock market instead of leaving it in the bank. This is what I mean by you're literally, every day you don't do something is costing you money.
Should we talk about the different types of strategies? Because one of the things that you may have heard terminology thrown around is the idea of active or passive. What type of investing? How should I invest? An example of being quite active, it's just the idea you're putting more effort in. If you're being what they say is passive, it's just like setting and forgetting.
Yeah. What that means is that like there is something for everyone. You know, if you want to be a bit more of a passive, lazy investor, which makes great money, or if you want to be like a bit more hands-on and you're like, no, I actually want to put my money and invest in companies that I support, then there's a place for you too.
We're trying to make this as simple as possible because honestly, when you get these concepts, it is so easy.
Yeah. And for anyone who's listening to this going, I understood all of that, well done to you, because obviously you've been listening, you've been learning, and round of applause for those people.
When we first started this podcast, like 4.5 years ago, I knew nothing about the stock market. I didn't understand what the stock market was. I was so incredibly terrified, honestly, of investing. I just didn't understand it, and it scared me. It's just so not like that anymore, and it's not to say it's going to take you 4 years at all. I've been investing. It's just the idea that
these concepts are foreign and they'll get more familiar.
Yeah, and don't feel embarrassed if you're listening to something, I don't get it. But what we would recommend is like go right back to the start and start listening to some of those earlier episodes, because I, at that time, knew literally nothing. And Vic was explaining things in a way that was like, we literally didn't move on until I got it.
Yeah.
So you will learn so much. In terms of the Curve Weekly, which is our episode that goes out every week, that's a chance for you to learn more about like actually things that are happening in the stock market at the time. There might be business news, world news, and what you'll start to realize the more that you take part in these conversations, not just learning about investing, but the economy in general, is how incredibly intertwined it all is and how important it is for women to care and actually start learning and talking about and taking part in the world that is money and the economy and the stock market.
Yeah. So thank you for listening.
Yes.
And if you're watching, I'm very excited to go wash my face off.
I know.
And happy Halloween. And remember, investing, say it with me.
What am I saying?
Investing is not scary.
Sorry, that took me a while. We obviously didn't plan that part of the episode.
Just staring at you.
I was like, well, to be fair, it is a Friday night and we are so wiped and exhausted. So we're going to call this a day. But hopefully this was helpful. And yeah, if you've got any questions or you want to get in touch, the whole point of the Curve is to demystify investing. So anything that you want, if you want to message us and be like, I kind of got that episode, but I'd love to learn about this, just send us a message or an email because we can point you in the right direction.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Raising the Curve. These conversations are designed to teach you everything you need to know to be better with your money, from saving to investing to talking with your friends about your salaries, all of that stuff.
And if you like what you heard, we would love if you could please hit subscribe wherever you're listening and leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about the episode.
And it only takes 1 second and it would really make our week, our month, our year.
Yeah.
So please do it. Okay. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.